What's going on, YouTube and the GGE universe? We're here with the first episode of Talking GGE, an all brand new series coming here to the channel. In this series, you will find many interviews, many segments, many arguments. It's all here on Talking GGE. Each week, I'll bring 1 to even 5 guests. We'll do little interviews and such like that. Y'all know who I am, but today I have 2 very special guests. First off, I would like to introduce to you Jesse, aka J Beats.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's J Beats. How's everybody doing today?
And second, but last but not least, it is Kian.
Hey everyone, it's me.
All right, Jesse joining us here from America, much like myself. Kian is obviously from the UK. So, without further ado, we will be jumping into things here today, boys. Before you continue this video, make sure to leave a big thumbs up on it. Comment in the comment section below, and let us know your thoughts on the past season and the foreseeable future here in the GG universe. All right, guys. So, as you can see in the bottom hand of your screen, there's GGE rumors. There's a couple big rumors there. One, it says Raw is reportedly in talks with The Rock, the great one we just saw at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, had his Smackdown career come to an end. Then your second rumor is Smackdown Live rumored to have traded the Viper Randy Orton to Raw. In return, they would be getting the phenomenal AJ Styles. 2 big rumors, and they're going to be answered here today on Talking GGE. So, with this season, in Season 8, we've had one heck of a season. It came to an end at WrestleMania 8. You can, of course, watch here on the GG Network in its entirety, anywhere, anytime, for free. Now, we saw dreams come true. We saw dreams die. We saw careers die. We've seen it all in Season 8. But I think one of the biggest things that we should be talking about right now is, the career of Baron Corbin, our new Universal Champion over on Raw, the first ever Universal Champion. This guy has had one heck of a season, and by that I don't mean he had, the best season. It's just been so up and down. Just when you think he's getting that push, it's like he gets pulled away. Now, SmackDown is under new management. Unfortunately, he's not on SmackDown, so, he can't get the rightful push he deserves on the Blue brand, but he's getting it on Raw, the flagship show. By that, if you guys didn't know, SmackDown has lost their general manager, and they do have a new general manager, and I'll be introducing you who exactly that new GM is in just a few short minutes. Now, Baron Corbin, he went from absolutely nobody to a guy who took out everybody, including John Cena, who was then world champion, Undertaker. I mean, he really made a name for himself by taking out these big names. He went, on his own terms and wiped out these guys before they even matches. I mean, we just saw weeks ago on SmackDown, he went and took out The Undertaker, for instance, and just really making a name for himself. But then he got his opportunity in that 20-man GG Memorial Battle Royal for the $1 million title and the GG Memorial Battle Royal trophy, and he would then go on to win. It was down to him and Hideo Itami. He eliminated Hideo, and he won the title, and afterwards, just about a couple hours down the show, he would then go ahead and cash in his $1 million title for the WWE Championship, who Shawn Michaels had just defeated AJ Styles and the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar to get that title. So he crushed the WrestleMania moment for Shawn Michaels to ultimately make his own. So Baron Corbin is on top of the world right now, ultimately the face of Raw. We'll get to hear from him this Wednesday on Raw, of course. But right now, I would love to hear your thoughts, Jesse, on the career of Baron Corbin, and where do you think his career is going to be leading to?
Well, with Baron Corbin, he has this sort of attitude about him that he's the best and all of that. If he doesn't watch himself, he could get in bad with the McMahons or with Triple H, and that title could be going very, very quickly. He just, for the beginning of it, maybe act a little bit more humble than when he usually would. I understand, new champion, you're excited, you feel on top of the world, but that title could be taken away from you just as quick as you got it.
For some advice for Baron Corbin, what would you give him? Because as we all know, you've won multiple titles with Cesaro, and what were your mistakes as a champion, and what kind of advice would you give a guy like Baron Corbin moving forward?
Biggest advice would be don't get too cocky because you may be very, very good on one-on-one matches when it comes to pinning, but then you'll have to defend that title in situations that aren't in your favor. For instance, a steel cage match or a ladder match. You gotta be very versatile and you gotta be humble sometimes. You can't just be overconfident or cocky.
Okay. And do you think Baron Corbin is going to be a long reigning champion on Raw?
I do not. I don't see Baron Corbin holding that title for very, very long, to be completely honest.
All right. So now that we've gotten word from Jesse, I would like to hear from you, Kian, on your thoughts of where Baron Corbin's career path is going now that he's Universal Champion.
Well, he was in the second week on SmackDown, and he's made a big change by going to Raw. He's become the main face of the show, which is a big change. He has to stay humble and not try and piss off like the authority, otherwise he'll be in big trouble.
All right. So we've gotten some word on Baron Corbin, and personally, I feel that Corbin. I can admit, I can announce that Corbin will have to defend that Universal Championship on Raw. Raw always has their big main event, usually, being a world title match. He will have it, but I don't know his opponents. Originally, it was scheduled that AJ Styles would be getting a rematch, but now that Styles is in the rumor mill of, he's on the verge of possibly be going to SmackDown Live, it's about a 75% chance that he will be going to SmackDown, then Raw would get Randy Orton. So I don't know who Corbin's going to have to defend against. There's so many new talents, such as Shinsuke Nakamura, who's our IC champion, or Intercontinental champion, that is. Finn Balor's back on Raw. You have a guy like Bobby Roode coming out of NXT, a lot of hungry guys, Samoa Joe, the list goes on. So I feel like Corbin's days are numbered. I think he's got a lot of potential. But right now, I just don't know. I mean, unless he can pull some stuff from under his sleeve, I think I think his title reign, may be very numbered, unfortunately. But now that we've gotten word on Baron Corbin, I would like to. This big news right here. A lot of you guys have been wondering. The SmackDown general manager spot has been all up in the air here, and everyone's just kind of mostly the SmackDown superstars are really curious on exactly who's going to be taking charge of them. I have decided. It was decided around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning on exactly who the SmackDown general manager would be. I have indeed decided that one of the guys here in the call with us is Kian. He will be your new SmackDown general manager, and of course the in-game character would be Teddy Long, Theodore Long. So Kian, what are some thoughts and plans that you might have for the Blue Brand, and how are you going to turn around the as many people like to call the B Plus show? It's been called that for quite some time now. What are your plans on basically proving everybody wrong and turning that ship around?
Last season's SmackDown was a joke. It was dominated by one person. It was known as dictatorship, and after it changed the season. SmackDown is the people's show, and I'm going to be taking that into mind this season.
All right, so we heard that basically the SmackDown brand would be the people's show. I like that. A guy like Teddy Long is all for the people, very loved. Commissioner is Eric Bischoff, the guy who runs that is he's not on the call with us. But SmackDown has a tall order, big shoes to fill. From seasons now. This is just like 3 seasons that they have to fill. The last time that I can really remember SmackDown being truly memorable and really loved was season 3, and now we're in season 9, so that's a 6-season difference. Part of season 4 as well, but we went under new management halfway through. So Raw's been kind of that show that everyone, when people think about the GG universe, they automatically think of Raw. As a guy who runs Raw, I really want competition, and I really hope that SmackDown goes all out and gives Raw a run for their money, because I think the Superstars of SmackDown deserve that. The fans deserve that, and there should be another show that people look forward to. NXT's getting up there. They're doing some good things as well. And Kian was part of the NXT team, and he's one of the reasons why NXT was as popular as it was this past season. So we already know some background on what he can do, and I think it's going to help the SmackDown brand, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens in the future. So now that that's been said, we're going to go ahead and basically talk of what's going to happen for Season 9, or what we think is going to happen for Season 9. First, we're going to start off with Raw, and we're going to go down from Raw, SmackDown to NXT. So right now, what I want to ask from Jesse is, who exactly do you think is first going to be the breakout star of Raw, and two, who do you think is going to be almost as the face of Raw? Because in many seasons now we've seen a guy like Brock Lesnar, and I think this past season it was more so the face of Raw being AJ Styles. So Jesse, who exactly do you think is going to be the breakout star, and who do you think is going to be the main guy, the guy who steers the ship?
There may be a lot of people who's going to disagree with this, but I don't care if they do or don't. I think the breakout star of the year is going to be Finn Balor, to be completely honest. Finn Balor, for the past couple of seasons, hasn't really done very much. He's had a couple of title matches in which he has lost every single one of them, and I think it's finally time for the Demon to rise above the ashes that he has created for himself. As for the face of Raw, that's a very difficult question, just because there's a lot of very capable superstars that could fill that face spot.
Right.
If I had to pick one, sorry, I'm just trying to think of who's on Raw right now. That'd be a good face. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna make a bold assumption. I'm going to say Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. There's a guy that has struggled a lot in the past. He's a former United States champion. He's even a former World Heavyweight Champion. Back on SmackDown Live, I believe in Season 5, if I have my history correct. He's a guy who's been struggling though, and he most recently broke apart the Shield, much differently from the in real life breakup, but. He's basically trying to make a name for himself once again and get back at the title in title talks and all that. So I mean, a guy like Dean Ambrose isn't it isn't wrong to side with Ambrose. He's just going to have a lot more difficult time, I think, than a guy like like Brock Lesnar or Kurt Angle would have in becoming that guy. But Ambrose has all the potential in the world, I think. So I definitely could see that happening.
That's why I'm choosing those two. They're two stars in which they have the potential to be something more than what they are. In the past couple of seasons, they've come a little bit short, but I think this season it's time for an uprising of stars who have been a little below the card or below where they should be to start becoming the superstars they should be. You know?
Right. So, furthermore, let's go ahead and ask Keenan basically the same question. Who exactly do you think is going to be the breakout star, and who do you think is going to be that main guy when you think of Raw, like you think of this superstar? Who would you go with, Keenan?
Well, the breakout star here would be the current $1 million champion, Kevin Owens.
Okay.
He has a future title shot for $1 million title, which will be dangerous for any champion. And as for the face of Raw next season, I think it'd be Jeff Hardy, who was tag team champion last season, but now he's making change to a singles competitor. I think he'd be a world champion.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy is a guy I think people really sleep on. Very, very charismatic, loved by the fans. So he's another guy that has all the potential in the world and some. I'm really interested in what he has, to bring to the table. And this character, known as Willow. It's no secret that Willow's that's other persona of Jeff Hardy, and it's been you guys can check on the GG network here that there's some like little cryptic promo clips of Willow, and obviously that's Jeff Hardy. So I wonder what that all ties with and what's going to happen there. So really interested, and I definitely agree with what you guys say. Some good picks. With me, I feel as a breakout star, I gotta go with the glorious one, Bobby Roode, straight at NXT. I think Roode's, he's definitely got all the potential in the world. So I gotta go with Bobby Roode as a breakout star. And in terms of face of the show, it's hard for me to decide from Brock Lesnar just because how dominant he is. But he hasn't really been in the title picture. He was somewhat there for WrestleMania, but it wasn't fully all about him. But a guy that I think is going to really break out as the face of the show. I feel like Samoa Joe is going to do it. He's so dominant. Now that his little new allegiance with Triple H, Triple H is the general manager, so it just seems more fitting that a guy like Samoa Joe is going to break out. We've seen, time in, time out, when you side with Triple H, you ultimately become almost the face of the show, such as Seth Rollins, Randy Orton. I mean, the list goes on. Whoever sides with Triple H usually, almost always, becomes a big talk name and, the face of the brand. So I'm going to go with Samoa Joe there. And I think with Raw's going to have yet another good season. I can assure that. And there's a lot of new talents, a lot of new tag teams, a lot of new women wrestlers. It's just a new brand for it, new bloods on the show. So I think it should be very interesting. Now, I'm going to go ahead to SmackDown Live. The show is a little more interesting to talk about at the moment just because of all the controversy that's going around it. New general manager, all that. Now, under new leadership comes obviously, new breakout stars, new stars in general. You have guys like Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt's back there. Bray Wyatt, when he was on SmackDown seasons ago, he was a world champ and United States champion at the same time. So he's got great luck on the blue brand. You also have Jack Swagger, who's kind of getting a big chance there now. Drew McIntyre, Hideo Itami, Sami Zayn, a lot of names, and Seth Rollins is there. I mean, it's just again a ton of names. Plus, you have your old names such as John Cena, Mr. Kennedy. All those names are still there. But I feel we're gonna kind of go the same route here with breakout star and ultimately the face. I feel like Hideo Itami is gonna break out over on SmackDown. And I think it'll be like kind of the breakout star, that underdog feel. I guess you could kind of say the same for Sami Zayn almost. But in terms of face of the show, I feel truly like Seth Rollins. I'm gonna have to kind of go with two guys here: Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. Rollins and Wyatt are two guys that I feel are gonna really become the face of the brand, along with John Cena. Cena I see more of as like the backbone of the show. So I'm going to go with those two guys. I would love to hear first, though, from the new SmackDown general manager. What do you see with the show, and who do you think is going to break out and become ultimately the face of the show?
Personally, I believe Cesaro will be the breakout star of the year. He's been stuck in the mid-card for a few seasons now, often fighting for the US title. And I feel like once he loses that title, he'd make the change to the world title and really give them a run for their money.
Right.
And for the face of the SmackDown, I believe Seth Rollins could be that face. He's also been in mid-card a few seasons. But last season he won the world title. And I feel like he can repeat that this season.
Okay. Another guy, it's possible, the possibility of having AJ Styles there. I feel like he could also, be yet another big name there. Last time Styles was on SmackDown, didn't have the greatest time. Kind of stuck in a tag team and didn't do too much. Known as I think they were called the Future. Yeah, him, Sami Zayn, and Neville. But you also have a guy, Broken Matt Hardy. That's another name I totally forgot about. Very weird dude. We saw him at WrestleMania, and we kind of know what he's capable of, but he's a very odd dude. I think he's really going to put the roster on notice and kind of keep everybody on their feet. So, Jesse, who do you think is going to ultimately be a breakout star, face the show, and do you think SmackDown is headed into the promised land?
Well, first off, tearing up a little bit that good old Keen here thinks Cesaro is going to be breakout star of the year. Warms my heart when people see my potential. For breakout star of the year, I was honestly thinking about two different people. who have been in the shadows for quite a while, being Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre would be a really big breakout star, especially if he gets that minor title, which I think he has the capability of doing it, to be honest. It would be something really, really spectacular to see that. And another breakout star would definitely be Bray Wyatt. He hasn't done very much in the last couple of seasons. It'd be awesome to see him break out and go back to the Bray Wyatt of old and be that monster that he used to be. For face of SmackDown, I honestly think it's going to be Edge.
Edge.
The current champion right now, I think it's going to be Edge being the face of SmackDown for a long time.
Interesting. I mean, Edge is obviously, the new WWE World Champion. Really made good of his promise of becoming Mr. Money in the Bank and cashing in the same night. He did that, and cashing in on The Undertaker. So here's an interesting scenario with, the trio of John Cena, Undertaker, and now Edge. Edge is new champion. Undertaker has rematch. John Cena has a rematch, so I think Cena and Taker are going to be wanting to go after that rematch, and then you have so many other names that are hungry and wanting that title, so it's just going to be chaos on SmackDown, but heck, I love it, and I really hope that the new management for SmackDown, it's not only just the general manager here, Kean, but we also, have the commissioner kind of doing his own thing now that he's, we all know the past history on, he didn't really have SmackDown for as long as we all would have liked him to. But then we also have a new director of operations. Another thing to note on, you have DOOs, a.k.a. director of operations, on each show now. So they're there to help out and spice up the show some. So I think it should be very interesting, and I'm really interested to see where SmackDown goes, and I hope that they do good because we need SmackDown to do good this season. Furthermore, now we're going to head into our next show, which is NXT. We'll quickly go over that. Now, NXT has done quite well for itself the past season, and a lot of new names coming onto the show. We know Briscoe brothers are coming. We saw a glimpse of them at the past TakeOver events. Michael Elgin now, Kazuchika Okada is breaking out over there. Now the guy like, Bobby Roode's gone. Ty Dillinger's gone. So there's some names that are gone, and they could break out. Even Austin Aries. Cassius Ohno is back. So there's a lot of options for NXT, and I think that they have a good roster. Now, I think for a face of the show, right now I would have to. I feel Eric Young has got that face of the show feel, and he's been NXT champion for quite a while now, and I feel like Eric Young is going to maintain as one of the bigger names down there. Guys like Ethan Carter III, our new NXT champion, Cassius Ohno even. I think even Okada's got that potential as long as he gets that, right shot. But I think Eric Young is going to just be that guy who's the backbone of the show, face of the show. You can call them both. But breakout star, I'm going to say that I'm going to go out and say that Okada's breakout star for NXT. It's time for Okada to make a name for himself. Heck, maybe even a guy like James Storm. I don't know where Storm has been, but he's been gone for quite some time now. So if we see a possible reemergence for him, I think he'll have a great season. But for breakout star, I'm gonna have to stick by Okada there. So Jesse, you're very familiar with style of NXT as you are Eric Young, so you know exactly what he's capable of and all that. So who exactly would you go as breakout star, and who do you think is gonna kind of be the face of the show?
Well, breakout star of the year is pretty easy for me. You said he already has kind of broken out, and I agree with you. I think season 9, he's going to really show us what he's got. Cassius Ohno, definitely, for breakout star of the year. Can't go wrong with him. I think he's got a lot of potential. Definitely going to shake things up. And I hate to be a copycat here, Josh, but I got to go with my main man, EY.
I hear it.
As a face.
All right. So EY and Ohno there from Jesse. And Kean, you're obviously very familiar as you are the former NXT commissioner of the show. Who do you see breaking out as superstar of I wouldn't necessarily say superstar of the year, but as the the big main face, and who would you say is more of a breakout star on the brand?
He's both a little man and Apollo Crews. He hasn't been used very much over the seasons. Last season he beat the former champion Bobby Roode, and he beat Smackdown, who was very dominant. And for the face of NXT, you got a real man in Cassius Ohno.
Okay, so I think season 9 is in for a good run, and I think all shows are gonna have a good time. So this is a new series come to the channel, Talking GGE. This was episode 1. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. A lot of answers, or I should say a lot of questions were answered. Rumors down below, more to come. So this will be a show that will happen each and every week. It's going to be a weekly series. Hopefully you guys will tune in more as the series grows. And if you guys did like the first episode of Talking GG, make sure to leave a big thumbs up on it. Comment in the comment section below your thoughts on it, and give us some, you heard, the questions I asked. Well, who would you guys say is going to be breakout stars and all that good stuff? So let us know in the comment section. Share with any fellow W2K17 Universe Mode fans. And I once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Jesse, do you have any final words for the audience?
Yeah, definitely. Season 9's looking like it's going to be one of the best seasons in GGE history, so make sure you stay tuned. It's going to be awesome, guys.
All right, so a lot of new staff members. 205 Live is another show. Can't forget about that. But that'll be for another episode of Talking GGE. And Keen, do you have any final words for the audience as well?
Be careful to watch Smackdown this season. It'll be really exciting.
All right, so make sure to tune in to Smackdown there, and just make sure to tune into all the shows, guys. Each show is going to have its own, brand of excellence and interest. So, hope to see you guys there. Remember, first week of GG Universal begins this Wednesday, March 29th, and once again, hope to see you all there. All right, guys. Once again, make sure to share with any fellow W2K17 Universe Mode fans. Make sure to follow our Twitch channel. You can see in the bottom left-hand of your screen. Subscribe on my secondary YouTube channel. That'll be for vlogs, pranks, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter at @officialJRJ_. There'll be more links of social media platforms in the description. All right, guys. This was Josh. This was Talking GGE. I'll see you guys next week for episode number 2, but there'll also be some more videos throughout the week. All right, guys. Until the next video, everybody. Peace out, and have a great rest of the day.